today's hike, we go to Paul Yost Recreational Area of Jefferson Memorial Forest. And this trail is for hikers and horses, or people riding horses, I should say. At the trailhead, you'll see a map for the area, and you'll start off crossing a bridge. They also posted the trail rules, and then we get started. This trail is called Coral Ridge Loop, and it is about 2.8 miles. The trail does have a little bit of elevation change, so you gotta climb up a couple hills, but they're not very big, and that means you don't have to go down a lot of hills. It stays pretty easy the whole time, so this is a great hike for smaller children or people who are just starting out learning to hike or wanting to hike but not doing anything too strenuous. We are doing this hike in early April, so we're going to see lots of signs of spring, but we're not going to have a lot of leaves on the trees, so it will be pretty sunny the whole time. You'll want to wear your sunscreen, and you'll want to put on your bug spray because it's starting to be that time of year again where the bugs are going to start being a problem on the trails if you're not wearing your bug spray. One of the first flowers we see this spring and on this trail are these Quaker ladies. They're really quite small, so it's hard to tell from this picture because I got up close to them to take it, but they're really pretty tiny. Some other small things that are starting to bloom are the buds on trees. So this is a little tulip poplar tree, which I got really excited about because you all know I love tulip poplars, and it has its little buds popping out and little tiny tulip poplar leaves popping out, and they're just adorable this time of year. Another thing I saw a lot of on this trail were trees that had fallen over. So like the entire root base would be just tipped over on its side and you could see underneath of it. And they were really big trees. So as you can see from that one in the last picture, it was just, giant. Here's another one. And this one, for comparison, have a couple people standing next to it that you can see are pretty tall, and it's taller than them, so giant roots. Another cool thing that's sprouting this time of year are these fiddlehead ferns. As you can see, they look like they're all curled up in a little ball or like a little snail, and then as they start to unfold, you'll see the leaves of the ferns start to kind of form from the little snail shape. So cool. And as you can see with my hand for comparison, those tulip poplar leaves were pretty tiny, just smaller than the palm of my hand for sure, but really just about the size of a quarter around. These May apples were starting to pop up this year, so if you go out on a hike this time of year in Kentucky, early April, late March, you'll see May apples. I also saw some buds on a pawpaw tree and a maple tree, tiny leaves, small as my fingertips from the maple trees. Got to see some old mushrooms. There weren't any new mushrooms out on the hike we were in. There are some mushrooms starting to come up this time of year, but we just weren't seeing any where we were at. And then these beautiful pink, red, purplish buds are on the red bud trees. They're really beautiful. Love to see those this time of year. And this was a new flower for me. I had to look this one up. This is a rue anemone. So that was cool to learn that name of that flower that I can identify now. I have to thank my two hiking buddies, California and Daxton, who always help me remember to take breaks on my hike to drink water and eat snacks, which is super important. So this wasn't my first visit to Jefferson Memorial Forest, as you know, but this was my first visit to the Paul Yost Recreation Area of the forest. So that was cool, and there's a little QR code you can follow to get a free sticker to commemorate your visit. Thanks for joining me, Crusaders. Our next hike will be a wheelchair-friendly one, so stay tuned.